What's going on, guys? Coach Andrew here with Prodigy Fitness, and I bet you're wondering why I'm holding a foot. Well, today we've got 3-step process to fixing ankle mobility. What's going on, guys? So one of the biggest things that we see with a lot of our prospective members is limited ankle mobility. Limited ankle mobility can affect a lot of things when it comes to working out. So for example, it limits your squat ability. If you're running, you may have a difficulty running, but you might also just be in pain and your knees may hurt because of limited ankle mobility. So there's a couple of reasons why that your ankle may not move the way it should. One of them, it could be injury. Maybe you sprain your ankles. I know as a kid, I sprained my ankles a ton. And so that scar tissue that builds up can actually limit the motion of your ankle. You could have had a more serious injury. Let's say like you tore an Achilles tendon and your foot was immobilized. Now, not moving it is going to limit that ankle mobility as well. And the other thing is, unfortunately, ladies, those high heels, they get you into this kind of extended position, what we call plantar flexion, and you don't actually get into this dorsiflexion. So dorsiflexion is just a fancy word for pulling that toe up. And because you're in your high heels, you don't see that a lot, so we limit that ankle mobility as well. So limited ankle mobility, like I said, will hinder squat performance, for example, but because of the kinetic chain and it kind of throwing the kinetic chain off, it actually will cause some issues in the knee. So it's going to cause those knees to dive in. So if you ever see someone, their knee dives in a little bit, which is going to put a lot of what we call valgus stress on our knee, which could lead to patellofemoral pain. It could lead to ACL injuries. All right, so we want to make sure that we have good ankle mobility. And today we're going to go over a test to make sure to see if you have proper ankle mobility. But then we're also going to go over our 3-step process to fixing ankle mobility if you have poor ankle mobility. All right, guys, here's a quick, simple test that you can do to test if you have adequate ankle mobility. Remember, ankle mobility is going to be crucial for things like squats and running and stuff like that. So Coach Kaylee's here on the floor. She's on one knee. Her foot is about kind of a fist and a thumb length away from the wall, all right? And what she's gonna do is she's gonna rock forward. The main objective is to keep heel on the ground, right? So we don't want that back heel coming off the ground while she works to get her knee towards the wall, okay? So as you guys can see here, Coach Kaylee has pretty good ankle mobility. One of the things that we don't wanna see is that as she rocks forward, kind of her heel coming off the ground, all right? Because then that means that we're not getting the movement from that ankle. All right, so if you struggle to get your knee to the wall, then we may want to work on a little bit of ankle mobility. All right, so we've got a 3-step process that we use here with our members to improve ankle mobility. All right, guys, so step 1 of our Unlocking Your Ankle series is self-massage. So if you have a foam roller, you can use that. What we find, though, is that people, they don't really get deep enough with the foam roller. So we have a stick here instead. Funny enough, if you have a rolling pin at home, this will work with the rolling pin. So we're going to start first with knee bent, right? So we're kind of shortening those muscles. And Coach Kaylee's just moving up and down. Now, if she finds a little tender spot, she may kind of hang out for a couple of seconds on that spot and then continue to roll out again. So we'll start knee bent first, and then she's going to straighten her leg out and do it again, right? Now kind of straightening those muscles out as she goes, right? If she wants, she can also add a little bit of movement in with her ankles as she's doing this, right? To kind of help loosen some of that stuff up. We want to spend about 30 seconds or so per calf, all right? Now remember, even though you might be tight on one and not the other, we want to make sure we're doing both, all right? So that's step 1, all right? Step 2, we're actually going to take you guys over to the wall here, and we're going to do some static stretching. So research has shown that static stretching actually can help improve the ankle mobility before we actually do some mobilization drills. All right, so Coach Kaylee's going to step up onto the wall. The more of your foot that you can get on the wall, the better. All right, now this obviously can be a little bit different for everybody. Now Coach Kaylee, what she's going to do is she's going to rock forward to the wall as far as she can until she feels a good stretch. Okay, remember when we're doing our static stretching, we should not be in pain. Right? This should, on a scale of 1 to 10, should be like a 7, not a 10. All right? So kind of gauge that there, and we're going to hold this stretch for about 30 seconds. All right? I can see Coach Kaylee sweating a little bit, so we'll make sure that she's not going much longer than that. All right? So make sure we're getting both sides there, and then we're going to increase some ankle mobility with some mobility drills. So the first one we have is a knee to wall with plate. All right? So Coach Kaylee's going to step up onto the wall, step up onto the plate. The ball of her foot's going to go on the plate. Similar to the ankle mobility test, we want to keep that heel on the ground. So she's going to work on getting her knee to the wall, keeping her heel on the ground, all right? If we find that this is a little bit too easy, we can always slide back, right? So if we slide the plate back a little bit, okay, and she still has to now work to get her knee to the wall, obviously it's gonna be a little bit harder, okay? So that's our first one. And I would say, 5 to 10 passes on each ankle there. And then we'll move on to our second one, okay? So one of the reasons why we may feel a little bit of impingement is that our talus, one of our kind of ankle bones, gets stuck. So we're gonna do a banded ankle distraction to kind of help loosen that up, all right? So we've got this band here. If you're lucky enough to have something that you can anchor the band to, do that. If not, you can grab a friend and have them hold it for you, okay? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go kneeling again, and I'll come on this side so you guys can see. So where Coach Kaylee put the band is really important, right? So sometimes, the band is gonna wanna slide up to the kind of the shin, right? We want it actually right in the crease of that ankle, all right? Because what that's doing is that's pushing that talus back. Same concept as we did on the wall over there. Coach Kaylee's gonna rock forward, and as she does that, her heel stays flat on the ground while this band is actually pulling that muscle or that bone back, okay? And then she's gonna come back, she'll do that again. Same thing, about 5 to 10 passes or so, okay? If you feel like you're struggling to keep that ankle on the ground or that heel on the ground, while you're doing this, you can just put your heel or your hands kind of on your heel as you rock forward to help kind of make sure that that foot stays down, all right? So in conjunction with the calf stretches and the rolling out, right? These exercises will be really good to help improve ankle mobility. All right, now remember, this is not gonna get fixed overnight. So you gotta do this on a consistent basis a couple of times a day to help improve that ankle mobility. All right, guys, so there you have it, our 3-step process to fixing ankle mobility. Now, I know that was a lot, so if you guys have any questions or you guys need to watch the video again, please go back and watch it again. If you are a busy adult in the Tri-Valley and you're looking to get stronger, lose weight, have more energy, if you're looking to fix your ankle mobility, we would absolutely love to help. I have pinned a comment below that has a link to a free 2-week trial. All you gotta do is click on the link and we'll take it from there. All right, hope to see you guys soon.